Hello YouTube, this is a battle report between the Warriors of the Dark Gods and Dwarven Holds. So this is a 4,500 point battle at the local gaming store. And my opponent's list, I don't have a copy of that one, so I'm going to tell you what I have in my list pretty much, and then what I can remember about his list. So bear with me. So here we have some type of unit of hunters, I believe it is, with a copter, a unit of some type of unit with great weapons, kind of like longbeards, warriors, a unit of about 25 of them, it looks like, with 3 characters in there. A BSB, his lord, and another character. Another unit of hunters, an organ gun. He actually had another organ gun, and he had a unit of crossbowmen. On my side, I have 2 units of warriors and 2 krusher units. Behind that, I have a battle shrine and a sorcerer on a chariot. And over to the far left, I have a unit of fallen. The guy on the chariot has no mark, so he's just leadership 8, rerollable with panic, and I have a unit of hellstriders and a unit of barbarian horsemen. The warriors have the banner of the Nine Tails, so it gives everybody within 12 inches of +1 movement, and a vanguard like this, so that I'm hoping that organ gun cannot see the hellstriders, because I want to use them later to do some shafting. And he's going to end up getting first turn because he placed first. I decided to go ahead and place everything on this right flank away from most of his strength. I probably not, because I was thinking about placing it the other side, but you had all those buildings in the way. And so, yeah. And so I'm hoping that all the shooting will be negated by that battle shrine. He moves up his unit of hunters kind of questionably too close to the fallen. I think this was a mistake, because the fallen actually have a pretty good movement and they're really decent in close combat, and his shooting is only strength 3 throwing weapons, so I'm not really afraid of that. And then he has a bunch of different bound spells. Now these bound spells are kind of strange because they don't have ranges, and only one of them actually had a range, and they don't have a casting value. Strangely enough, I don't know how that works, but yeah. And he also had an anvil back in the back, so the anvil has a bunch of different spells they can use or whatever, and they're particularly bound. I move forward kind of aggressively like this because I'm not going to have that many turns to actually get in contact with him. I move the warriors up like that around the building. So everything is going to have to cut past this building, and I actually was able to save one of the hellstriders from getting shot to pieces, because they got shot up quite badly by the long distance of the crossbows. I lost 2 guys on the way in from stand and shoot reaction, and I put the hellstrider right there in front of one of his right there in front of one of his organ guns, so that he will have. It won't be that he can't shoot, it'll just be that he'll have few targets to shoot at. He can only really shoot at the crushers, and I think he might be able to see a warrior unit, but they're both really close to that battle shrine, so there's going to be -1 to hit and long range, so -2, so it's going to be 6s to hit, so I'm not really worried about that thing. And in my magic phase, I was able to drop the strength of this weapon here, so now it's only strength 4, armor piercing, so not too bad. It's a -2 to my armor, but I'm okay with that. Over here, I was able to make it so there was actually, I believe it was +1 armor on the warriors to the left with the caster there. And I threw a bunch of bound spells against the thing too. And I think I scored around 3 wounds on it, so I was really trying to get rid of those, yeah, there were 3 wounds. Really trying to get rid of the organ guns, because they're going to be one of the things that are going to be difficult to take down, because the amount of shooting those things released is just ridiculous. Over here, in his turn, he decides to move forward. and block my units off. And my reaction is, I don't care about that. I'm probably going to end up charging that unit on the hill. Over here, this is a pillow fight. Nothing happens, and so I think we won by charge and the charge and yeah, just a charge and downhill. So +2. He breaks from close combat, flees. I'm able to run him down. Yep. I think I run him down. I think that my unit might have killed all those guys. And so he refuses to shoot at the fast mover there in front of his units, and so he moves like that. Yeah, in my turn, I try to charge the crushers into the unit on the hill. All I needed was like a 5 or something like that, and they rolled a 3. So now I'm stuck over here with these guys. And I'm gonna have to make a decision to charge that unit now. He was able to take out one of my crushers over here in this far right unit, and another crusher over here in the right unit, just off of shooting and just pure luck. I was able to get off another spell with the +1 armor on one of the units there to I'm trying to make it so that he's thinking twice about shooting at that unit. In his turn, he moves around the flank, around the Hell Strider with his guys there, and he moves away from the Fallen over here. I think that's a mistake. They might be able to hit the flank on that unit and might be able to take it out, or at least break them from close combat anyway. And in my turn, I pushed the warriors up kind of aggressively, trying to block off my flanks from these big units. The crushers actually made the charge this time. I would have had more guys there if they had made it first time, and it would have been a better position. But as it stands, they're probably going to end up crushing that unit. He did get a buff off, and it didn't really matter. The buff was, I think it was -1 to hit. It didn't matter because I was still hitting on 4s anyway, or it might have been 3s. And I was able to put on that main unit. I put something on them. Oh, break the spirit. I put break the spirit on those guys. On his this great weapon wielding unit, and yeah. And so now we're just gonna wait. We move forward to try to get closer with the Fallen, so we can get closer in that close combat. In his turn, he decides to go ahead and charge with his main unit with all the characters in it into the 10-man warrior unit. Yeah. And over here, he moves these guys a little bit further, I believe, or it might have been that. Yeah, I don't know exactly why. I have a picture of that, but yeah. So he makes that charge there, and he positions his great weapon wielding guys to the flank like that. Because my crushers ended up killing that unit and running off the board, and in my turn, when they come in, they're going to be facing his flank. So he decided to change his facing. In close combat, he didn't really do that well in close combat, and the warriors stuck. I decided to move the chariot, made his charge and got him on the flank, and then I moved the fast mover around to the side of the chariot. What I should have done was actually move the fast mover around behind the warriors that just got hit, and that would have slowed him down another turn, and that would have been it. That would have been pretty much game for him, because once I did that, he would have had to either turn to face the crushers head on, and in which case we would have crushed him in close combat, or he would have had to run and hit the guy. And if he had hit the guy, then it was the same thing would have happened. Over here in close combat, the chariot did 1 impact hit in the challenge, and he racked up 4 wounds in the challenge. He rolls a 10 and he fails his leadership test because his lord and everybody's far away. They flee. The chariot chases them down and kills them. And that leaves the other guy out there in the open. In my turn, I was able to make a charge with these guys to the flank of these crossbowmen. I want to say quarrelers. I keep on wanting to say quarrelers, but they're not quarrelers. So these guys are only going to get 2 attacks against them. But in close combat, they whiffed pretty bad, and he was able to reform. Not what I expected, but oh well. He decided to go ahead and finish off the that lone guy with his with his shooting. the warriors in close combat. They actually held out pretty well. He actually made it into close combat after defeating the other warriors. He ran and hit the other warriors behind them. Now, if that fast mover was there, we'd be able to hold him off one more turn, and my crusher was able to come in on my turn. I moved him up on top of the hill. The Lord was able to charge and hit his farthest volley gun, and then the crushers hit the other one, kind of like a crisscross almost, and they kill both targets. And instead of me turning the crushers after the Lord charged out, I let him have my flank, knowing that those warriors were going to die. That was so stupid. Over here, he was able to pluck off the last wound on the on the sorcerer. Lost a bunch of points there. Yep. But I think I'm still in pretty good position. As long as those, as long as those crushers don't break, I'm in good position. I'm thinking I should be able to challenge with my champion in his turn, and that'll block off quite a few attacks because of the way he actually hit my unit. And then now I'm thinking about it. I don't think that last crusher should have been able to hit, and he should have had some more attacks. But I think the guy who actually accepted the challenge was out there on the corner there of the front crusher there. So I think he really did cut himself off, but my crusher in the back should have been able to get his own attacks. My Chaos Lord charges into his last unit over here. That should be easy for him. And he was able to beat the crushers by 4 because of a rank, standard, and battle standard charge, big flank. And that sucked. But he only really scored 1 wound against the champion. But it still ended up being a tie, even with all the mistakes I made. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And next time, I just got to be more aware of what's going on with my flanks on the crushers. Got to be really careful with that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Ciao.